Coming into the 2025 MLB season, it was easy to buy into the hype surrounding the Boston Red Sox. After 3 consecutive seasons of irrelevance, no playoff appearances, no winning records, just mediocrity, they finally said enough is enough. This time around, the front office didn't just make moves. They made headlines. They went out and made the bold, franchise-altering decisions that, at least on paper, screamed we're going for it. Let's walk through the offseason because it really set the tone. The first move was the signing of Aroldis Chapman to a 1-year deal. Many saw Chapman beyond his prime, but he still posted a 3.04 FIP and a 3.79 ERA in 2024, and he was exactly the kind of high upside arm the Red Sox bullpen desperately needed. Because in 2024, the bullpen was awful. We're talking 24th in MLB with a 4.39 ERA. Then came the blockbuster move. Boston traded for White Sox ace Garrett Crochet. This was one of the biggest moves of the entire offseason. The Sox sent out major prospects, some from their prized top 10 farm system. But in return, they got a young lefty who put up a 3.58 ERA, a ridiculous 2.69 FIP, and nearly 13 strikeouts per 9. This was the kind of arm Boston hadn't had at the top of their rotation in years. Next came the addition of World Series champion Walker Buehler. The Sox hoped they could tap him back into his former Cy Young form just a few years back. Risky? Sure. But it was a swing worth taking for a team that needed pitching depth badly. Next came the big splash for the offense, which was the signing of Alex Bregman. One of the most consistent bats in the league over the last decade, Bregman brought elite contact, patience, and gold glove defense at third base. But if you knew anything about the Red Sox, Boston already had a third baseman in Rafael Devers. So what gives? Well, Devers had been the third baseman for 7 seasons, and while the bat was never a question, the glove definitely was. Since debuting, he's led the league in errors and posted the worst defensive runs saved among third basemen. Still, Devers made it clear he wanted to keep his spot, and you can understand that. He had given a lot to the organization. But after a month of spring training tension, pushback, and speculation, the team finally made the move everyone saw coming. Devers became the DH, and Bregman took over at third. That's how the season started, on a note of awkward tension, even before a single pitch had been thrown. Then came opening day, and honestly, things got weird pretty fast. The Sox stumbled out of the gate, starting 1-4 despite solid showings from a few young bright spots, none more impressive than rookie Christian Campbell. Campbell took over second base and played so well that the Red Sox inked him to an 8-year, $60 million contract even before hitting May. Meanwhile, Wilyer Abreu came out swinging, showcasing skills that could easily place him among the top hitters in the league, while also demonstrating elite defensive prowess in right field. But what about Rafael Devers? After all that drama that surrounded him waiting to settle into that specific position, he completely fell apart, starting the year with an alarming 0-for-19 record and amassing a staggering 15 strikeouts. This marked an MLB record for the most strikeouts by a player in their first 5 games. That said, credit where credit is due. Devers has since made a remarkable recovery. As of now, his stats are pretty impressive, boasting a 962 OPS and a solid 165 WRC+. He's undoubtedly the best bat in the lineup right now. Yet surprisingly, the controversies keep looming. Why, you ask? It all comes down to the unfortunate incident that then came on May 2nd, when first baseman Tristan Casas tore his patellar tendon. The optimal solution seemed clear: shift Devers to first base. However, Devers declined the proposal, and honestly, I can understand where he's coming from. After all, the team finally found a place where he fits well. Why would they want to shake things up again when success was finally within reach? Instead of pushing Devers into a new role, the Red Sox opted for a different approach. They brought in Ryan Noda from the Los Angeles Angels. Not exactly the headline-grabbing move that many fans were hoping for, but at least it adds a competent presence at first base. Now let's take a step back and analyze the bigger picture. At this moment, the Red Sox find themselves sitting at 27-29, occupying 4th place in what appears to be the lackluster AL East. They are trailing behind the Yankees, Blue Jays, and Rays, and with Baseball Reference estimating their playoff chances at a mere 16.8%, it's difficult to see this team in the playoff picture. In a competitive landscape filled with teams like the Yankees, Royals, Tigers, Twins, Astros, Mariners, Guardians, and I could go on, this Red Sox team fails to generate much confidence among its supporters. Yet surprisingly, if we look at the offense from a statistical perspective, things actually seem pretty promising. Rafael Devers has made a comeback that many did not anticipate after that start. Before suffering a quad injury, Alex Bregman was delivering a productive season at third base with 2.5 FWAR and batting with an impressive 159 WRC+. Wilyer Abreu continues to shine, presenting a 866 OPS and Gold Glove caliber defense in right field. And meanwhile, catcher Carlos Narvaez has quietly emerged as one of the most underrated assets on the team, contributing 1.7 F4 and showcasing robust numbers across the board. Collectively, the Sox lineup ranks among the top 10 in key performance metrics such as batting average, on-base percentage, slugging, OPS, and WRC+. That's undeniably an elite performance. So how on earth is this team struggling to stay above that 500 mark? Well, let's delve into the pitching situation. As we've already highlighted, Garrett Crochet has been everything Boston fans had hoped for. His performance has been nothing short of dominant, boasting an impressive 1.98 ERA, a 2.71 FIP, and exceptional strikeout numbers. At just 25 years old, he seems like he's going to be Boston's ace for a long time. However, when we look beyond Crochet, the situation becomes less than pleasant. Tanner Houck, an all-star in 2024, has completely imploded. He owns the worst ERA in baseball among pitchers with at least 40 innings at 8.04, and the third worst FIP at 6.1. Opponents are hitting over 300 against him, and he's walking too many guys. Walker Buehler has been serviceable with a 3.95 ERA, but that's the only other bright spot in the rotation. Everyone else is sitting north of a 4 ERA. That's why the Red Sox starters rank 23rd in ERA at 4.26, 25th in WHIP at 1.39, and are in the middle of the pack in FIP at 4.03. If you're looking for a reason why this team is mid, it starts here. Now, the bullpen has been surprisingly competent. 12th in ERA at 3.67, 7th in FIP at 3.47, and 13th in WHIP at 1.27. Brendan Bernardino, Aroldis Chapman, and Justin Wilson have formed a strong trio with ERAs of 1.46, 1.8, and 2.6 respectively, but it still feels like they're one injury or one slump away from chaos. They could use another arm, but the rotation is the real concern. And injuries haven't helped. Bregman's quad injury has no timetable, and that's a huge blow. He's been their best all-around player. In response, the Red Sox called up top prospect Marcelo Meyer. That's a big move, but let's be honest, one prospect isn't fixing a broken pitching staff and an inconsistent roster. Which brings us to the organizational philosophy. Boston has found itself in a bind, a roster crunch-born out of premature commitments. They tried to copy the Braves model, sign young guys to long-term deals early, and hope for massive surplus value down the line. But so far it hasn't worked. They tried this with Cedar Rafaela. He's been okay, he has positive WAR and decent defense, but he's blocking the organization's #1 prospect, Roman Anthony, the top-ranked prospect in all of baseball, who's been tearing up AAA. They also just don't make good money moves really anywhere in free agency. Trevor Story is owed over $70 million over the next 3 years, and he's been a black hole in the lineup, 62 WRC+, and negative WAR. That's not just bad, that's unplayable. And yet, the Red Sox were delaying Meyer's promotion because of him. The same issue extends to Masataka Yoshida. He's on a big contract, currently on the IL, and when he returns, there's no clear fit. First base, he's never played in the majors. Outfield, pretty blocked. DH, now occupied by Rafael Devers. The Red Sox are stuck. And don't forget the pitching contracts. Lucas Giolito and Walker Buehler are making over $18 million each, despite being league average at best. Giolito hasn't even been healthy. These are the kind of deals that kill roster flexibility. All this brings us to a hard truth. Boston's attempt to fast-track their rebuild with splashy signings and prospect extensions has backfired. And maybe that's not entirely surprising. After all, this team underwent a major front office shakeup from Chaim Bloom to Craig Breslow. Bloom was known for patience and prospect development, while Breslow has clearly taken a more aggressive approach. But now, the Red Sox are stuck somewhere in between, not quite rebuilding, not quite contending, and that's the most dangerous place for a franchise to be. So what's next? If you ask me, I'm circling 2027. That's the year I think this team might really figure it out. They've got the #1 farm in baseball with guys like Marcelo Meyer and Roman Anthony. But right now, it's a logjam of contracts and underperformance. Maybe they catch fire. Maybe they go on a run like the Twins did after a slow start. But unless this pitching staff drastically improves, and unless someone steps up to replace Bregman, it's hard to see a serious path to contention in 2025. Let me know what you guys think. Is this team cooked for the year, or is there still hope? That's going to do it for today's video. If you like this breakdown and want more deep dives, don't forget to drop a like, hit subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. And with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.